The dunk of the night, better than anything we saw on Saturday night. How about Jason Tatum takes the feed, and he throws it down on Andre Drummond and company. It's so nice you need to see it twice. Celtics a big win over the Nets. They win by 23 points. And here's Brooklyn coach Steve Nash, who is stressing urgency for his team after yet another loss.
We know there's urgency. We know that we're not going to have half a season to kind of figure this thing out. We're going to be up against the clock, and our guys, like I said, they've been great because there's a lot of pressure and circumstances that make it difficult. As you're dropping in the standings, but their spirit has been outstanding. So that's the spirit, I think, of taking it day by day, game by game, trying to improve, and at the same time, we recognize the situation we're in.
The situation they're in is one that no team has ever been in before. Now, this is their next 7 games, all of them against East teams that are currently in the playoffs. Our analytics don't favor them to win any. 5 of the 7 are on the road, which in this case is a good thing because it means Kyrie will be able to play. And I've got Kendrick Perkins and Zach Lowe with us today. And I want to sort of repeat what I said. No team has ever been in this situation the Nets are in. There's never been a team that had lost 13 out of 15, was 2 games over 500 at this stage of the season and 8th in the standings. And a legitimate question is, can they win the championship? But it is legitimate because of the circumstances here. So, Kendrick, can this team, when they get everybody together, and we know who everybody is, can they still win the championship?
No, Greeny, no. Look, the playoffs started yesterday. The playoffs started last night. And watching Steve Nash and listening to his interview last night, he knows they have doubt, and they should have doubt. Look, the Eastern Conference is really, really strong. I could name 5 or 6 teams right now that I feel like if the Brooklyn Nets was healthy, that they wouldn't beat. But here's the thing. They have to make the playoffs. They have to make the playoffs. Right now, they're in the play-in tournament. We don't know when Kevin Durant is going to be back. We haven't seen Ben Simmons play in 6 or 7 months. We don't know if Kyrie is going to be full-time yet. They haven't made that decision for us, the vaccine mandate. And then on top of that, look at those teams, the Raptors, the Hornets, the Hawks. Do you really want a chance going into having to play one of those 3 teams in the play-in tournament to get into the playoffs? Like, anything could happen. We just don't know. So, no, full strength right now, I'm not picking the Nets as a favorite to win the title at all.
It's impossible to argue with anything you said, and yet, Zach, if you put together a healthy Kevin Durant, a Kyrie Irving who might be able – let's live in a world where he can play all of the games by the time we get to April and May. Again, as Perk just said, we don't know what that's going to look like then. And Ben Simmons, having had whatever it is, 6 weeks to sort of figure out exactly how to play with those guys and what his role is. I can't sit here and say it's impossible to see them beating all of those teams. I agree. They could lose to any of them, but I can't say it's impossible they could beat them all. What do you think, Zach?
Well, if that's the standard, I mean, of course it's not impossible. The talent is the talent. Kevin Durant might be the best player in the NBA. Ben Simmons will help them right away. But they may be under 500 by the time those guys play, by the time that scenario you outlined comes true. And it just comes to the point where, yeah, it might not be impossible, but if you're trying to do this from the 8th or 9th spot with a team that has, let's say, 10 games to actually gel together, a team that is Joe Harris going to play, or is he not going to play in addition to the 3 stars, the obstacles are so tough from day one. You've got to get out of the play-in, and then you might have to run a gauntlet like Milwaukee, Miami, Philadelphia or something like that. Let alone whoever comes out of the West. It just becomes too much. So I think the odds are so stacked against them now that they've just got to get into the playoffs first before we even start to really have this discussion.
That's fair. That's fair. And so then let me change up the focus a little bit here. If they can't do it, Big Perk, you two guys and the whole crew on NBA Today are going to be sitting there with Malika in LA, and you're going to have all sorts of commentary. And I'm going to have my, Stephen A. and Michael and Jalen. What are we going to say about them? What will the fallout be for Brooklyn? Where is the pressure on the Nets if this thing doesn't work this year, Big Perk? What are we going to say?
It's going to come down to who, Kyrie Irving. because the reason that they lost James Harden is because of Kyrie Irving. And so now you're going to have a decision to make. And it's not just going to come from Sean Marks and Steve Nash, but it's going to come from Kevin Durant. How long are you going to deal with Kyrie Irving and all the extra baggage that he has with him? That's what it's going to come down to. If you're going to point the finger at anybody, you're going to point the finger at Kyrie Irving. That's the reason James Harden left. And if the Nets don't succeed, if the Nets happen not to make the playoffs or get a first-round exit, that's the person I'm pointing the finger at. It's Kyrie.
Yeah. Imagine if they lose to the Sixers in a first-round scenario after making that trade. What do you think, Zach? What does the fallout look like if this thing? It would have to be one of the truly spectacular failures in NBA history, and at least one way of looking at it. If it does result in a play-in exit or a first-round exit, what does the fallout look like?
Well, they're already the greatest theoretical team maybe in the history of sports, the James Harden version that we got to see for a hot second. Perk nailed it. The biggest story that nobody is talking about, and I don't know why we're not talking about this, is Kyrie Irving has a player option for next season. He could be a free agent if he wants to be. What team is Kyrie Irving going to be on next year? What do the Nets actually want? Do they want him to opt in so they kick the can a year? Do they want him to opt out and try and sign him to like a 2-year deal so they don't commit long term? Like, there's a world in which he's not on the team next year. I actually think he'll probably be back, but I don't know what the heck is going to happen. And if they implode after this season, yeah, it goes down as one of the greatest failures in sports history, considering what they traded. But I think the much more likely scenario is those three guys come back next year with an offseason, with a training camp, and this becomes more about next year as make or break instead of this year. But they better hope that that's the scenario they get.
Big Perk, give me a quick final thought.
Greeny.
Yeah.
Greeny, here's the thing. Kyrie Irving is the type of person that will sink the whole ship because he can't be the captain.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.